Django Reinhardt didn't know anything about gypsy jazz. He never heard of gypsy jazz. Django Reinhardt played jazz. He was a jazz musician who happened to be ethnic, a gypsy. So he was brought up traveling in a gypsy camp, and his musical journey led him to jazz, and that's what he really became. Django Reinhardt became important in jazz. And then the gypsy, what we call gypsy jazz, is very simply that he was a gypsy, but it also called jazz manouche. Manouche is the tribe of gypsy. There's lots of different kind of gypsies. Manouche and Sinti is more Django's people. The word gypsy gives you a very colorful picture. You know, for me, I see, you know, freedom and caravans and movement and campfire and parties and you know, a lifestyle, you know, a culture. And for me, I think it's quite a good description. It doesn't matter, it's just music. But I like gypsy jazz. It works for me.
Alô, microfone? Alô, 1, 2, 3, som. É esse que tem som aqui nesse microfone. 1, 2, 3, experiência. Alô, alô, som.
I was brought up in a musical family, like blues, country music. But then I went with my father to Paris, to the Gypsy Festival. And then I saw the Gypsy people playing Django Reinhardt's music, and then I fell in love. I fell in love with this kind of music, and then from that day, I wanted to dedicate my life to playing that music. I love the jazz manouche, so I love Django Reinhardt. But what I really love is to do something different, because it's the traditional way to play this music. But I'm not an orthodox or traditional player, so I like to do something new with the music and combine it with blues, with rock, with pop music. So I like to make something new. That's what I love.
Na verdade, eu tinha um CD dele, que eram músicas do Nat King Cole, tá? Então, era um cantor e o Robin Nolan na guitarra. E eu gostei demais do estilo e eu fui pesquisar sobre o Robin e descobri que Robin era, além de tudo, um educador. E então eu vi Robin, fiquei fascinado pela história dele, pela coisa que ele estava fazendo.
Em 2015, em Amsterdã, a gente foi na casa dele, eu e o José Fernando. O José já tinha entrado em contato com ele para vir tocar no Brasil. Em 2015, ele veio para cá e a gente viajou, tocou todos os dias. A gente foi para Florianópolis também, e lá ele me chamou de canto. Ó, tem um festival em janeiro, seria para 2017. Foi lógico, até lá eu vou estar tocando um pouco melhor, acho também. Tinha um ano para estudar. Teve uma tensão pré, né? Que tinha uns cobras, né? E falei, o que eu vou fazer lá, né? Mas foi muito bom porque a gente só tocou música brasileira, músicas do meu CD, minhas e músicas brasileiras, né? E foi muito bem aceito, porque eu tava meio com receio, porque ele vai tocar músicas que eles não conhecem. Mas foi isso que deu certo, porque é um repertório novo, eles falavam fresh, né? Uma coisa fresh.
What's different about the Gipsy Festival is that there's a lot of players who come to jam. You know, when you meet other players and you play, and it's a whole community. It's the concerts, but also after the concerts, there's jam session all night. So it's a big party.
Esse estilo vem de jam session, né? O cigano anda com família, com o primo, com o irmão, todo mundo toca na frente do trailer. Então é uma música de social, né? Uma música de põe a fogueira, blá, e foi pro palco assistir depois, né?
Por exemplo, no Festival da França, existem dois ambientes, o ambiente do festival e o acampamento. É lá que saem os grandes contatos e as grandes jam sessions, né? Todo nesse acampamento. Aqui em Piracicaba, nós temos as jam sessions nos bares após o festival e também já virou tradição de organizar um jantar de confraternização, 5 horas de música, trocando, uma hora um violão, outra hora outro.
I don't like when music's too serious and people intellectual about the music. Bina Coquet is somebody who improvises and he has fun, and if you make a mistake, then so what? Fernando is a guy that makes things happen. He brings people together. Without this guy, none of us are here. So he organizes, puts his love and his heart into the festival. Gilberto, he's the rock, you know, the bass player. He's the rock, and also he's a rocker, so he loves AC/DC, and he loves Django Reinhardt, so to make music with him is very natural.
O Nolan eu conheci através do festival, né? Então a primeira vez que ele veio foi em 2015 e ao mesmo tempo em 2015 ele me apresentou no backstage. Ele falou: tô gravando um disco do AC/DC. Eu falei: como assim AC/DC em Manouche, né? Aí eu fiquei interessado. Ele me mostrou o disco ainda quando estava numa pré-mixagem, né? Eu achei extremamente interessante porque eu gosto muito de AC/DC, né?
My latest project is a little bit different. It's AC/DC songs, the heavy metal group AC/DC, but played in a Gipsy Jazz style. So it's acoustic guitars, but playing AC/DC. So Angus Young, Back in Black, Highway to Hell. So we're playing these songs in the concert tonight.
Ele vai vir com o AC/DC, né? Vai passar por Beatles e entra o repertório do Django, do jazz Manouche tradicional. Então é uma mistura, assim, né?
Beatles, I play Paul McCartney, And I Love Her, and Something from George Harrison. And George Harrison was a friend of mine, a crazy story, but I was playing on the street in Amsterdam, and a guy that worked for George, his gardener, bought my CD and then gave it to George. And then lucky for me, it had my phone number on the back, and then George phoned me, and I picked up the phone and said, hello? And he said, is Robin Nolan there? And I said, yeah, who's that? He said, it's George Harrison. I went, what? Who? And then it really was George. And, do you want to come and play at my house? So I said, okay. So then we went to play for George and his friends, Paul and Ringo. And I played for many times at George's house, and it was a big inspiration. I haven't met the guys from AC/DC, not yet, but if you're watching, then I love you, Angus. Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So we're going to do something nice.
Please.
Okay. just going to play some gypsy jazz and talk about some gypsy jazz, the kind of music we play, the guitars, what we do, the rhythm, a little bit about the music, and if you have any questions, then please ask. And otherwise, we'll just kind of play and try and have some fun. We're gonna start off with minor swing. This is like Stairway to Heaven. When you walk into a gypsy camp, you hear minor swing. I started to teach because I needed a rhythm guitar player in my band. And I asked my brother, who was living in England, if he wanted to play guitar with my band. And he said, yeah, I'd love to, but I can't play guitar. So I said, it's easy. I'll show you. There's just a few chords, and you'll learn really quickly. So then I started to think, okay, these chords that we use in these songs in gypsy jazz, I started to write the shapes down, you know, like a diagram, like where you put your fingers, like that. And then basically that turned into the first book. I made a book of 10 songs in this style, and then we put it on the internet, and it really went really great. All around the world, people bought this book to learn how to play gypsy jazz. So now it's all turned into digital, so video lessons, and yeah, I've learned myself how to teach over the last years. This music is all about the rhythm, so that's the important thing, and it's, you know, for you guys, really, it's a very simple rhythm. It's just the and in France they call it la pompe. And to do that, you can just do downstrokes and keep every beat dry. So instead of you go. So when you play the chord, you bring the left hand up, and then the chord is very short, so just like. One musician plays the rhythm, only plays the rhythm. You know, like Django Reinhardt, his brother played the rhythm, and Django always played the solo, so there's a dedicated rhythm player, just like a dedicated drummer. And but when we play, obviously, he would be mad if I didn't give him a solo, you know. But that's really beautiful. Then we can have a conversation. You know, we can take it in turns, play the rhythm. Here's another rhythm that we use in this music, and it's like a bolero. And this piece is written by Django Reinhardt. It's called True Blanc Bolero. I think people want to know how to get that sound. You know, the rhythm is probably the most important thing. That's what makes this music not jazz or not, you know, another music, but gypsy jazz is because of this rhythm, you know. There's no drums, so getting this rhythm is the most important thing. Yeah, so that's a bolero rhythm, and instead of there you go.
About the right hand, how do you mute with your left hand when you're hitting with the high? If I have to put the accent in the mute, in the 2 and the 4th?
Yeah. So
when do you mute it?
Like this. So he's asking, how do you stop the chord ringing all the time?
Yeah.
So it's with the left hand, obviously. So there's different ways of playing it.
Right.
Some players play it just even, like you only hear a little bit on 2 and 4, like.
Eu acompanho o trabalho dele, os vídeos, é muito bem organizado. Ele é um grande didata, numa área que a gente não tem exatamente trabalhos didáticos direcionados, né? Aquela coisa, é uma música que veio de uma cultura cigana, né? É uma tradição oral, você aprende através dessa tradição. Então o YouTube é uma ferramenta muito interessante, muito importante e de fácil acesso para o estudante, né? Porque você pode ter aula com Robin de qualquer canto do planeta.
People watching from all around the world, type in where you're watching from. This is so awesome. I'm teaching you six secrets of mine to play Gypsy Jazz La Pompe Rhythm.
Já conhecia muito antes de sonhar, de pensar que ele vai conhecê-lo, assim. Já tinha visto vários vídeos dele, assim. Nunca imaginei que ia ficar amigo dele, assim.
The truth is that when you play in rhythm, you can keep it really simple, so you don't have to think that you have to always do lots of stuff.
A gente conversou um pouco sobre pegada de mão direita, né? Ele deu uns detalhes ali interessantes. Bem inspirador, assim. O Robin é um cara que ele faz bem do jeito dele, assim.
For me, using these rhythms, you can play any music. So you could take a tune from AC/DC, which is what I did, and then put it to this rhythm. And you could do that with anything. You could do it with a famous Brazilian melody, put it to swing, and it sounds great. So
It was criticized by people, like, because you want to mix it.
yeah, probably. I think if I knew now what I knew when I was 17, 18, I would be a lot more confident at that age. Because at that age I was very unconfident, very nervous about my playing, and I didn't know what style or what to do. But now I know that if you really play your own way and not worrying about, it's always going to be better, you know, and it's always going to start. People feel that. I encourage people not to change the way they play already, but instead embrace what they already do and adapt it to gypsy jazz, like me. My way of playing is a little bit, it's original. It's not copying other people, so I encourage people to be themselves. You're always going to be your best at being you. I knew AC/DC before Django Reinhardt, but when I started playing this music, the gypsy music, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to one day play AC/DC's song on this kind of guitar with these kind of instruments. And I put it off, and because it's a little bit tricky to make the arrangements. But then last year I thought, okay, I want to do it. So I picked the songs, and then I made the arrangements, and then put the band together. And yeah, it's a dream come true, actually. You know, anything's a great mix with this style. You know, Bina puts a bit of the Brazilian thing in, and that's the beauty of it.
Eu acho que esse estilo de música tem muita semelhança com o choro, com a valsa brasileira, com o choro, com sambas antigos, tipos de melodias, e sempre achei que dá pra... A ideia principal de quando eu fui atrás desse violão era para tocar música brasileira. Assim. Eu achava uma coisa, tocar jazz manouche, muito difícil, não vai dar tempo. E não ia, achei, mesmo se eu aprendesse um pouco, eu não ia ter com quem tocar, imagina. Então, assim, o músico brasileiro, aqui a gente tem, né? Tem pandeiro, tem acordeon, só que, bom, eu vou tocar esse violão, música brasileira. Mas aí, aqui em São Paulo, foi me levando cada vez mais pro jazz manouche, porque tem muita gente tocando música brasileira também.
Essa questão do AC/DC é muito interessante, porque nos outros discos de Nolan sempre tinha algum tema assim que fora do repertório de Gipsy Jazz, por exemplo, uma música dos Beatles, até uma música do The Police tem nos discos de Nolan. E quando ele me falou desse projeto, eu fiquei fascinado, porque eu sempre toquei em bandas de rock temas como Highway to Hell, Back in Black. Então eu fiquei muito curioso de ver o que acontece. E quando nós ouvimos o disco, para mim foi um estilo que eu adorei, né? Juntou duas coisas que eu gosto muito, Gipsy Jazz e o rock do Angus Young. Para mim é um dos grandes guitarristas, uma das grandes lendas vivas, né? Os riffs dele são conhecidos por todos os guitarristas de rock, né?
O papel do contrabaixo é sempre o mais importante da banda. É manter, keep the groove, né? É manter o grupo unido. Eu sempre tenho que ficar, o baixista tem que ficar muito atento no momento em que, por exemplo, o Robin está solando e os dois estão fazendo a pompa, né? Que é tchum, 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 tchum. E eu estou exatamente mantendo a banda no groove. Então, a minha função é manter o groove, manter o sentido de condução. Agora, é lógico, no jazz cigano você tem andamentos diferenciados. Mesmo no show hoje tem andamentos diferenciados. O Robin faz essa combinação com o rock. Então, além desse conhecimento do Gipsy Jazz, da condução do Gipsy Jazz, também tem que ter esse conhecimento extra da linguagem do rock and roll.
For me, in a weird way, I see some similarities with the AC/DC sound and the basic Gypsy jazz sound. And also, I usually play with my brother, and a lot of the Gypsy guys, they play with the brothers, and then there's Angus and Malcolm, the brothers. One guy always does rhythm, so my brother only plays rhythm, and the same with AC/DC, so it's like this kind of, yeah, it's that kind of thing. The only thing we don't have is the drums, so that's the trick. But that's the trick anyway with Gypsy jazz, because when we're playing the rhythm, the guitar, it's the harmony and the drums at the same time. And in a way, that's what's so charming about this music, you know. So instead of a big drum kit going, you know, you hear, and it's got a charming rhythm, you know, a nice feel, kind of clean, light rhythm. The luthier, the guy who made this guitar, is also an AC/DC fan. So he usually makes guitars like, you know, like these, and I have them as well. But he like me, he always wanted to do a project with AC/DC. So actually it began with the guitar. So he first made the guitar, then he called me up and said, I got something for you. So I said, what? He said, just come. So I went to his place and he showed me this, and I was like, oh my God. So he just said, take it. So you can see it's got the characteristics of the Gypsy style guitar with the small hole. But obviously it's totally influenced from Angus Young's guitar, the Gibson SG. So it has this double cutaway, and it has like the Gibson headstock. And it's actually called Djangus, which is a really clever combination of Django Reinhardt and Angus Young. So Djangus. This was the catalyst that started the whole project, and it's all about this guitar. You know, it's very visual, and it's fun. You know, it's part of the whole music, this AC/DC project.